Good morning, all of you. I take a great privilege in introducing architect P.S. Sahana, who is an alumni of Mohammad Sadaq AG Academy of Architecture, Chennai, from the batch 2015 to 2020. She has worked as an intern in Gravity Architecture and Engineering, Coimbatore. She has also been associated with Intact, Bangalore, for numerous documentation. To name a few, Chennai Keshava Temple, Belur, Hoyshaleshwara Temple, Halibet, Keshava Temple, Somnathpur, and also a heritage documentation on Vail, which is on Valikantapuram Temple Tank, Pudukkottai Kodu, Balasubramania Temple, Kannur. She is here to present a lecture on TC's methodology on how she carried out her documentation and where she stopped her documentation based on urban design, and based on which how her proposal came out to be a successful one. Her work has been nominated from her college for the proposal of NIASA, for the competition NIASA. Sahana, you may now start the lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you everyone for gathering here. Hi all. So, how I can share my presentation? No, ma'am. So you guys, you can all see my screen, right? Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm here to explain you all about my thesis. So this is the overview of what I'm going to cover in this webinar, like how important the heritage is, what's my idea before starting a thesis, how I chosen my site, how I finalized the topic, and what's my ideology and design principles in the final sheet. So before I start this session, just think why we are calling India as a subcontinent. What is meant by a subcontinent? So it is a landform which is smaller than a continent with a distinct geographical, political, and cultural identity. We all know that India tend to have a strong sense of pride in its distinctiveness and diversity of its culture. For examples, our country's agricultural expansions, technological advancement in infrastructure, science, and engineering, and not only our current technology. In our olden days, in our history, we see lots of living heritage, which is advanced in construction, and we also rich in artistic cultural exports like music, art, literature, spirituality, because each state is having its uniqueness through art and music, everything. In Tamil Nadu, we are having Bharatanatyam. In Kerala, we are having Kathakali. Like every state is unique. So then if we talk about in terms of geography, means in north we are having a mountain range and desert. In south we are having jungles, plains, beach, rainforest. So from this itself, we get to know that nature is also playing a vital role in India. If we talk about our history or chronology, we know who and all ruled south. So in terms of building wise, how much we evolved from Chola to the modern, there is a drastic change after independence. Once after the industrial revolutions or that is a post-independence, we built huge structures which is made out of steels and concrete. So we totally abandoned the heritage structures, which was once used for public works, and now we are migrated towards a new glass buildings. So most of the heritage structures are facing deterioration. So you can see in these slides. So we didn't even know who is going to conserve this, and these are all hidden heritage. So no one is going to see these little heritage structures which we can see in our native town. To conserve and preserve these, we are having few active bodies like UNESCO, ICROM, ICOMOS, Intact, ASI. They will list the buildings. Their duty is to list the buildings or cities or forest area based on their locations, year, material used for construction. For example, I'll talk about UNESCO. Under UNESCO, we are having 38 heritage sites in India. Out of these, we are having two cities. Ahmedabad, which is which is the first UNESCO World Heritage City, founded in 14th century, and in Jaipur, it has a history from 17th century. So when we think why UNESCO occurred these cities, we can find two schools, SET and SPA Delhi, which works behind the documentation of the whole city. Which while these institutes submit the documentations of the whole city, UNESCO will get a clear idea of how it is now and how important for us to preserve the cities. So why can't our city, why can't our Tamil Nadu, our state, our Chennai, our Tanjavur, or here, Madurai? We are having a lot of heritage cities in Tamil Nadu also. If we think also, our history is dated back to 10th century. Our history is older than any other state in terms of construction techniques, science, massiveness. We are having those buildings as a living proof of our heritage, but we are not having any proper document. So we require a proper documentation before approaching a foreign bodies or NGOs. We can't explain it through photographs or sketches. Just think you all must came through various types of heritage structures in your life while you're going to the college or to your native place. So likewise, I also came through few structures from my school days in my native town, Tanjavur. Not few, it's quite a lot. I've seen them intact and now it got deteriorated. So as an architect, what kind of role I'm going to play in my society? Then it clicked me. Why can't I do a thesis which should set an example? Example in the sense like any structure that is built next to the heritage or above or inside the heritage, we are not considering the heritage structures in terms of material-wise planning, principles, hierarchy. We are also dumping the construction waste inside the heritage structure. So I thought of designing a space where we can also include the heritage as part of our design. I found lots of heritage structures in Tanjavur, and this is a map that's showing the public heritage structures in Tanjavur. So in my process of searching heritage structures, I came to know about an organization called VIAL. It's a private organization. They are doing a great work on documenting heritage structures in South India in their own interest. So after I finished my thesis also, I'm working with them now for documenting in and around Tamil Nadu. So I didn't end my thoughts in my thesis alone. It keeps on going now. So finally, I found the heritage structure where I can study and intervene. By intervening, I need to conserve the heritage and also I need to make people to visit the place because most of the heritage structures have no activity. So it gets isolated and destroyed. Wherever we are conserving a structure or a place, we need to keep them intact. So this is how I chosen my site. So when I visited the site, the river was brimming with water, which made it easy for me to connect with the site. So either side of the river bank was filled with native lush green trees, which added to the beauty of the place. So the whole, when I visited the site, I felt that one can easily connect themselves with water, landscape, and sky. So I just want to achieve these with my build structures also. Not only from the site and also from the existing building also inspired me to adapt sustainable design using a native materials like laterite blocks, clay, brick, stone. Since it's a riverbed zone, it was rich in clay soil. And they have used this in the construction of heritage guard structures also. The brick were bonded using lime mortar, which is again a native material in Tanjavur surroundings. The use of walls in the guard and the surrounding structures led me away into my design in my first visit itself. So, and then I like to create the gradual progression from the harsh sunlight landscape to the shaded courtyard and then the sheltered veranda and finally into the interior space. It is a reminiscence of a traditional spatial sequence, which we can find in our rural areas also. You guys must also studied about this in your rural semester. And I also studied about interrelationship between the closed, semi-open and open space to create a natural and fresh environment for people to work there. So main focus was to connect the sky, river and landscape in the build. So this is the total ideology when I saw the sites and the surrounding. In this map itself, it shows the heritage structures what are surrounding in the surrounding areas. So, so from this, while you're doing your thesis, it should be like a novel in which a first word saying something, uh, it will be seen in the it will be it will be seen in the last word of the novel also. So likewise, I'm saying this because you can see all the things I've spoken here will be reflected in my design sheets. So the vault, the brick line, laterite blocks, um, the how the street pattern it will arrange, the open spaces. You can see everything in my design sheets. Now, what kind of space I'm going to design that, and how it's going to help the locals? Because to invent a new future and to rediscover the past in one gesture, the concept for the design is to rediscover the attributes that define Tanjavur and to realize the design of Tanjavur in the 21st century. So when I think about that, what the local people want, what's their need, and how we can connect people. So tourism is one mode through which knowledge has been shared all over the world. What are the things that creates a wow factor among the tourists? It's like tradition or culture or artworks. Then it shows art, which is one medium through which I can connect the people. After that I search for all the artworks which have been in the stores. So all the stores owners are not the one who is manufacturing it because these are all the small scale business. So I got the contact of the artwork people like metal plate, Tanjore painting, Tanjore doll, pottery, veena making, bronze statues. So I asked those people about the origin, so why they are doing this and how much they'll get profit, how much people they need to work, and how long it will take, and how long it will take them to work. And also I asked them, is it okay for you to work in some other place also, where they can directly meet the consumers? Because this is how a producer will get profit and will also lead a better life. So this knowledge is also being shared, which is the final goal. And this is how I finalized with the topic Regional Art Center, Tanjavur, which is also having the heritage value because international heritage conservation and also Intact is taking care of the artwork. So these are my study sheets, which shows the site dimensions mapping and through NBC, how much built up it should have, a setback, vegetation mapping, structure, pedestrians, vehicular movement, everything you can see in these site analysis sheets. So these are my manual documentation drawings of the card and a few of my ideology sketches. Sketches are must. You guys need to do a lot of hand drawings before going into software. Then you can explore a lot while sketching. Now I finalized the site and the topic. Before designing, we need to do case study in whatever design, not only for thesis, in whatever design, we need to do a case study. So I took Bharat Bhavan Bhopal, which is built by architect Charles Correa, Jawahar Kala Kendra Jaipur, which is also built by Charles Correa, Kamar Craft Center Gujarat, architect Neelkanth Chaya. So my reference from these three case studies are from Bharat Bhavan. I love the way how courtyard plays with design. And I learned that a public space should be universally accessible, but it's not being followed in Bharat Bhavan. So I kept it in my mind while I was designing. Jawahar Kala Kendra. This place is an amazing interplay with lights, colors, and the space flow as a narrator and changing mood of the user also. Kamar Craft Center, they replicate the local streets. They use the local materials. Due to climate conditions, the opening is made in such a way without letting sand and dust enter these sites. So local architecture is also a must while we are designing. Then these are my documentation sheets. So we can't put the drawing of a structure simply. As architect, we need to study about the history, the planning, construction technique, a proper detail should be given. So here I brief the history of Tanjavur from Cholas till now, on the origin of the river and the Ghat. These are the few examples of Ghat in Tiruvayar near Tanjavur. So it will be easy for us to relate these with the guard that I documented in terms of proportion, design elements, sorry, design elements, because it will be easy for us to understand the region. So this sheet shows the location and the site images. So how it is now, how we need to conserve it. So we need to do a proper photographic documentation also. Then this is the plan. From this, we can understand how they give an opening towards the river and they block the other side because it is not necessary to provide view on the other side. So we need to keep in mind while we are designing where and all we need to give a view, where and all we need to block it. But we will be like, we need to place one room in a storage room, but it's blocking the view also. We'll place it there because we need to provide it. We need to design according to that. Wherever it's needed, we need to provide a view. Wherever it's not needed, we need to block that. So while we are designing, we need to understand it. And while you are going to any heritage structures also, you should understand the proportion and planning. If you understand it, you will be a better designer. So in this sheet, I'll give the sections and detail of the railing. Now, here you can see the wall detail in the section and stucco detail in the right side of your sheets and along with the elevation. This also gives a clear idea about the spatial planning of the guard. The right side are the positioning of brick in different levels, how they place the brick while constructing this. So these are my progress in design. So I'm telling you again and again, the progress matters a lot while you are designing. Do as much as manual sheets before jumping into software. These are my manual drawings. So now this is a final sheet. So here I talked about, because we are not going to present everything in the everything to the external. So we need to give a brief idea about what we have done so far. So this sheet talked about my site and my special study, which is based on a sensor in architecture. Then I did a site analysis regulation. All the site analysis sheets has been placed here, and the documentation. So I'll just run through the plan section because it will be easy for you to understand through views. And the plan, okay. So these are the open space in the site. So here I have done a plan section and view, so we can understand the levels and planning. I designed such a way that people will take time to enjoy each space with each other, and also they'll communicate with others. So knowledge will be shared because because communication is the one that we can't see in our society. So here you can see all the open spaces and how it is planned. So where and all we are having levels. So in these levels, how they see each structure. Then after open space is done, now how the transition space is treated. What they are going to have in the transition space to make them feel like moving further. We need a wow factor which makes them more interesting to look around. Then we need to provide a wow factor, a surprise element here and there, which while they are walking from one museum space to another or one place to another. So we need to give something which will make them interesting to move further. Then we need to think about the design elements. A block for pottery museum where we can feel the materials of pottery, which is also eco-friendly, and which is also one of the sense, which is also through which also we can connect with sensories. Like a block other material because it absorbs humidity and it is also a local material. It is cost effective and energy efficiency compared to the conventional modern materials. Then mandapam. Mandapam is constructed for travelers to take rest in olden days. While they are relaxing their communicators about the region they are staying. So in my design also, I use mandapam as a workshop area where they'll communicate also, where they'll learn also. Stepwell before the stepwell is the common architecture features in temple architecture. So I used it before the ghat, so where the water will get collected from the site. So it is the only slope where the water will all get collected there. And then light well in all museum spaces. For example, in Tanjore painting is made out of gold foils. So when sun hits the painting will glow. So wherever it's possible, I use maximum of natural light. In some, and again in some roof areas, the roof itself acts as a dual purpose. Like we can provide a seating area just like auditorium, from which they can watch any performance happening in the ground level, so it won't affect other people who are walking around. So in vault is being used. What is being used because it's never gone out of style. So now we are using a vaulted structure, and it gives a majestic majestic feel in small building also, because I don't want to raise the building above the height of the ghat. At the same time, it should give the massiveness. So why then raise the height? Because the hierarchy should be maintained. From wherever we are standing, they should see the ghat. Like in Paris, we can see Eiffel Tower in all directions. So the hierarchy should be maintained in every level while we are conserving the heritage structures. And inscriptions, what we call as Kalvi in Tamil, which itself have a heritage value. Tanjore is famous for its Prahdishwara temple's inscriptions, which is placed in the transition area, so it can act as a wow factor. Now, how I am going to connect people with the water. I want them to see and feel from the land and from while they are in contact with water, while they are floating in water. So how I can connect people with? So promenade is provided to take a step down in these steps. I also provided a ramp for physically challenged people, and then the normal step is also there for people to go and come. And so you can see it in the isometric view, like the ramp is also provided, a normal step is also there, a huge step is also there, where they can have a sit and have a conversation. Bridge is provided over the step, which is made out of brick arch. The parapet of the bridge will look like a fortified wall, where they can have a table to sit and they can have a conversation. And while they are at the edge of the bridge, they'll feel like they're floating in the water. So this is what the sheet explains. And the views. You can see how vault is being used here, and you can also see in the third image how clay is used for pottery works in the Pottery Museum. And the fifth image, it shows the placement of inscriptions. So Mandapam is there, and you can also see in the view 8 how the bridge is being used. So that's all my design thesis sheets. But I just want to tell you one thing. In this modern world, we are all learning new techniques in design materials and constructions. We are learning a lot about these techniques in a college itself. But we are not having a space to share our knowledge about our heritage structures in terms of planning, proportion of the building, and also in materials. Though we are in contact with such heritage structures on day-to-day basis, we are unable to do much to save them. So no use of living without knowing the history. Knowledge sharing is mandatory. If you take any cities in the world like Rome, Paris, Greek, these are having a history because it is all stopped in one period of time. Now it's a museum where people can go, see and come. But if we take India, we are traveling along with the history. 2,500 years old temple is still being worshipped. In our country, most of the heritage is a living heritage. If any building which is being timelessness, it is important for us to acquire knowledge about that. So with that reason only I started my thesis, and I'm still searching and I'm discovering more. So thank you. And this is the page that Wire, which is doing the documentations. So you can check it on Instagram also. If you find any historic structures also, you can share it. So, yeah, ma'am.
Thank you, Sahana. That was a wonderful presentation. And I would also like to add on to whatever presentation that you have made. Sahana is one student, and I'm fortunate enough to have her under my guidance and under the thesis coordination of architect Sheba John. So where she has brought out what we wanted her to bring out of the project, basically. So it is so fortunate for us to have her under our panel, and that is one point. And another point is it is easy to bulldoze a site and construct any kind of structure that is needed for the context, but she has carefully evaluated all the micro elements of the site, including the activation of edges of the water body, and as well as a structure that is to be conserved, that is the ghat, Paditure. So she was very particular about conserving this ghat and as well as connecting people through the ghat to the water. So she had used one of the elements that is already present in the site, but for the point of conservation, she has added the conserved part of the Paditure. She has done some conservation along with the proposal of the thesis. So this is one project where she carefully have done a documentation to whatever extent that is needed for her to bring out this regional arts and crafts center. That is one of the best outcomes that I have ever seen in the past few years. Probably after 2015, I think, this is one of the best projects that I have seen. And it is always difficult to get a student and a student whose interest is also based on a teacher. So my interest towards conservation has got nurtured very much because of a student like Sahana, where I get back and read a lot of things on that so that I can give her some valuable inputs on how to conserve the site context and the site elements. So thank you, Sahana, for being a teacher to me all through your thesis. And one more thing, she has started her thesis from manual presentation and not from CAD or not from any other software that we are using right now. For example, there are many softwares. I'm not very good at software, but otherwise, there are many softwares that I know, Maya, I know, and whatnot. But she's one student who has started carefully from the stage of manual workouts, and she has converted that into an excellent digital presentation as well. So that is one knowledge I would like to acquire in the future, or the skill that I would like to acquire in the future. Thank you so much, Sahana, for being with us, and that's a wonderful presentation. I have seen this many times, but it's a great pride for me to get my student present at this stage. Thank you so much. And
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sahana. And I would like to thank our college management, HOD and principal for giving me this opportunity to be a part of annual lecture series of Mohammed Sadaq AJ Academy of Architecture. And if there is any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask questions. Otherwise, you can drop your questions in the chat box. So far, I haven't seen any questions as such. We will wait for 2 more minutes. If there is any question, you can unmute yourself and ask questions to the speaker person.
If you have any questions also, you can DM me, or I'll share my contact to Manimeghla ma'am, or she's having my contact. If you want to ask anything in personal also, I'm ready to answer you. So it's your wish. Communication is must and knowledge sharing is must, because in your thesis time also, you people should share what and all your staff is saying, and you should share with your friend circle, so that they might get any other new idea from the input of your teachers. So just share knowledge. How much ever is possible, just share it.
And I would like to add upon to what Sahana had told. I have a small group where Sahana is also a part of it. If anyone wants to be a part of the group, you can as well contact me, so that I will make you as a part of the group, so that you can communicate with her through a WhatsApp group. And there are a few more students, passed out students. That's the forum. That's a small forum that we have, like 4 or 5 students in the group. So I'm planning to add a few students from other colleges as well. so that you can expand your source of knowledge. So I don't see there isn't any questions, or maybe they would take some time to come up with any questions, I believe.
Okay.
So I think we can wind up the session. I believe there is not much questions. So I will share the mail ID, and if Sahana permits, I will also share her mobile number to the group so that you can communicate with her straight away. Otherwise, if you have my number, you can communicate to me so that I can provide her with your contact numbers. If any person is not a part of the group, Hariharan, you can contact me through Prasanna so that I can give you my number so that you can become a part of the group. Thank you so much. That's all about it. Thank you, Sahana. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's a great privilege and honor.
It's my pleasure, ma'am. It's because it's my college and I'm presenting it in front of our HOD and in front of you, and few other staff are there. So I'm really happy to be here, ma'am.
Thank you, Sahana.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful gesture. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sahana. So participants, I thank the participants. You can now, you may now leave the session. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.